Yes, you read that title correctly. It is f***ing ridiculous. Yo ho ho, Down Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of the Down Mafia Report. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be giving you a nice little training camp update along with my thoughts of the punishment that was placed on not only Cole Beasley, Matt Milano, Gabe Davis, Darlu Tulele, and Vernon Butler, and why I think that it's absolutely nonsense. But there are a couple of things that I did want to talk about during training camp today. And realistically, the first story is hands down that the Bills are beat up. We are significantly beat up. Half of the reason why last year, when so many people were, sort of against the whole no preseason games thing, I was a huge advocate because I wanted to avoid things like this. Today, the Buffalo Bills injury report consisted of this. We have Antonio Williams with a neck injury, Isaiah McKenzie with a shoulder injury. We'll get into that a bit later. Marquez Stevenson, foot. Tommy Sweeney, foot. Spencer Brown, knee. Trevon Hester, back. Harrison Phillips, knee. Dane Jackson, stinger. Jaquan Johnson, knee. Taron Johnson, hand. And Levi Wallace, hip. We essentially have a lot of key players and a lot of players who have a chance of making this team that are getting hindered by, in my opinion, what happened during that Bears preseason game. I hope no one's excited about watching this Saturday game against the Packers because we're probably not going to see a lot of our stars out there or even somebody that we were excited to see have the potential of making this team. I mean, thank God. Let me go on ahead and just knock on wood and be thankful that this is happening during the preseason and not during the regular season. We need to stay healthy, especially going into week one. We need to have everybody out there and everybody ready to damn play. Once you account for also the fact that we end up having those 5 guys on the COVID list, even though they all tested negative, right? We'll get there, obviously. I'm boiling to talk about this. Something that I think that we should keep a very close eye on. Luckily, Stephon Diggs ended up coming back, so we ended up seeing him out there doing drills while he was gone for a week. Let's just cross our fingers and pray to God that our front office and our coaching staff does not decide to put him out there on Saturday against the Green Bay Packers. Let's ease him in. I am fully confident in Stephon Diggs going out there and completely lighting it up without any type of preseason snaps whatsoever. So as long as everybody else stays healthy, Josh Allen stays healthy, and then hopefully all of these injuries happen to be a bit minor, I think we're going to be okay, and there's no reason to worry. Second story I really wanted to cover was more of an injury story, but really has to do with Isaiah McKenzie. Yesterday during practice, Isaiah McKenzie went down with a pretty significant shoulder injury. I'm pretty sure it ended up going from a hit from Jordan Poyer, and Isaiah McKenzie ended up staying on the ground for a significant amount of time. He was carted off to go get that checked out. Today in practice, he was found with a sling on his right arm. There are absolutely no reports of how long he's projected to be out, how serious the injury was. We frankly have no idea. But in my opinion, a move that was made today is really not making it look too promising for Isaiah McKenzie coming back anytime soon. And so that's because Steven Sims, a former Washington football team wide receiver, was just ended up signed to the Buffalo Bills. He is another gadget player for this team. He is somebody that is absolutely ill when it comes into those jet sweeps. So if Isaiah McKenzie is indeed injured and he's going to miss a couple of games, Sims might be the new Isaiah McKenzie, and Stevenson might end up taking over kick returns and punt returns until Isaiah McKenzie can come back. I think Sims is more of an insurance move, but the reason that we signed him in general, I really don't think that it was just to make up for any reps for Cole Beasley and Gabe Davis being out, because if I'm looking at a receiver with a skill set similar to Isaiah McKenzie, I'm going to have to say that Steven Sims is the guy for that. So that's something to keep an eye out. Once I hear any word about Isaiah McKenzie, we'll see how that plays out. As many of you know, Stevenson is out with a foot injury. He ended up hurting it running into the end zone during the Bears game. So that's something to keep an eye out for, and then something to be a little concerned about, I would say. All right, the final story, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I try to keep my thoughts, my 2 cents out of situations like this, but I have never come across something that infuriates me out of the pure stupidity as I have experienced the past couple of days. When the news dropped that Cole Beasley, Gabe Davis, Matt Milano, Vernon Butler, and Starlu Tulele all are not allowed to be at our training facility for 5 days because they came into close contact with somebody who had COVID, who was vaccinated, by the way, one of the training staff. And although all 5 of those players tested negative, they cannot be in the training facility. Ladies and gentlemen, say what you want about the benefits of vaccination. I'm vaccinated. I know the benefits of vaccination. I don't have a problem with being vaccinated whatsoever. What I have a problem with is the NFL legitimately making this rule to essentially coerce these players into getting something that they don't want to. Okay, listen, I'm fully aware, oh, Dad, well, when you were in elementary school, bro, like, you had to get vaccinations. That's cool. Listen, dude, I did it. And yes, I do know that some, like, workforces require you to be vaccinated. I get that. The problem is this. If you test negative for COVID, you should be able to play. You can't tell me that the NFL made this rule with the intention of protecting others if they wouldn't give the exact same punishment to somebody that was vaccinated. If this rule was created for the safety of others, let me say it again, people that got vaccinated would also have to stay away from the facility for 5 straight days. I think personally that if you test negative, you can play. You can go out there. That's just taking reps away. That's just clear coercion. Don't try and sit there and say, oh yeah, dude, we're looking out for the safety of the other players. Okay, yeah, that's great. But if someone that's vaccinated gets exposed to somebody and they test negative, they're cool. It's completely backwards. It doesn't make sense. And for any of you that can even muster up a straight face and try to defend this, just wait until this shit happens to Josh Allen on Saturday before week 1. And so a lot of y'all are about to be like, damn, this is bullshit, man. What are you talking about? It is. It is. I have no problem, okay? I have no problem with vaccination whatsoever. I have a problem with this rule. It is absolutely backwards. And now we have some of our best players, some of our key best players missing out on reps in practice when week 1 is about to come around because of this backwards fucking rule. And so, Dumb Mafia, do me a favor, leave a comment. What are your thoughts on this? I'll be completely honest with you. I'm going to die on this hill. I think this rule is absolutely dumb. I legitimately think that if you test negative, you should be able to practice, and this is just absolute nonsense. And the reason that this rule was put into place was for coercion and not for the protection of others. So, I mean, that's what upsets me about it. I'm going to die on this hill, so no matter what you say in the comment section, it's not going to change my mind. The rule is just absolutely backwards. But regardless, I mean, feel free to throw the straw men's out there or regurgitate a medical article that you read 3 days ago that has nothing to do with my argument. So obviously, I'm a little upset, Dumb Mafia. Y'all know that I love you. Do me a favor, smash that like button like it owes you money. Subscribe to the channel for Buffalo Bills and NFL videos. And before I let you go, you better always remember, let's go Buffalo.